3 different options to automatically run the SQL code. Those options are commonly used. We will go over them one by one. Option number 1, we can use SSMS to create a SQL Server job. So SSMS stands for SQL Server Management Studio. I included all the instructions here. So we need to go to SSMS, create a new job, and then provide details about the job. When we create a new job, there are several screens we need to provide the information on. So the general screen, we will give the job a name. And then we will create a step, a job step. We may have several steps, right? So just click on new. Make sure the step type is SQL, T-SQL, and then we put our code here. In here, you could just run your merge statement, your merge code, or you can create a stored procedure. In the stored procedure, you will include your merge, the merge code. Then in here, you just run the stored procedure. So that's probably the more common option. So you write up a stored procedure containing the merge statement, and then you run the stored procedure in here. We also need to create a schedule. So create a new schedule. Just configure the schedule according to your requirements, right? So recurring means every day, and then when you can run it every 20 minutes, every day, just to meet your business requirements. And once we have the job created, if we want to monitor the running of our data pipeline, our jobs, we can use Job Activity Monitor. In the monitor, you can see whether a job is idle or it's running, and then you have some options once you right-click on the job. So I put all the instructions in writing here for your quick reference, but we can go to SSMS, do a quick walk around. So just do a quick refresh. Okay, so in SSMS, under SQL Server Agent, so we expand SQL Server Agent, you will see jobs here. So right click on jobs, create a new job. And then these are the screen, the general screen, you give it a name. Steps, create a new step. Make sure you select T-SQL, right? And put your code, whether it's just a regular code or a stored procedure. Then we create a schedule. So schedule, you can create a schedule and then you can use the schedule for different jobs. So create a new job. And then you just fill out the details here. And if you want to get notifications, you can configure it here. Okay. So that's how we use SSMS to automate our data pipeline to automatically run our SQL. Option number 2 is to use Power Automate. So Power Automate is a relatively new tool. Okay, so SSMS and the SQL Server agent have been around forever. They are commonly used everywhere, including the industry. Power Automate is relatively new. I wouldn't say it's a much better tool, but could be a better tool because it's more flexible and you have more features, more options. So you may want to look into this as well. If you want to use SSMS, you need to have a Windows computer. But if you want to use Power Automate, you have some other options. Okay, so let's see what options you have. If you want to run Power Automate, you can go to the cloud. So you go to the cloud, start Power Automate. You can use it for free for 90 days. So if you use Power Automate in the cloud, then it doesn't really matter whether you have a Mac or you have a Windows, right? Because it's in the cloud. Or if you have a Windows computer, you could download and install Power Automate for Windows 10. Once you have Power Automate available, whether it's in the cloud or on your Windows computer, you want to select this database, and then there are three options. You create or open a connection. You run your data pipeline code, and then you close the connection. I have made a video demonstrating how we do that, how we use Power Automate to run SQL code. Very detailed, step by step. So if you want to use Power Automate, please make sure you watch this video. Option number 3, we can use Azure Logic Apps. So Azure Logic Apps is available in the cloud. That means it doesn't really matter what type of computer we have, right? Because it's in the cloud. And we can see the Azure Logic Apps as an upgrade for Power Automate. So usually companies would start with Power Automate, but when they need more sophisticated features, they will upgrade to Azure Logic Apps, because both Power Automate and Azure Logic Apps are based on the same architecture. And they have an architecture which is becoming more and more popular. And that architecture is no code or low code. Okay, so meaning you can do a lot of things by writing a very limited code. Okay, so we can use Power Automate and Azure Logic Apps to run our code, but some of the features provided by them can reduce the amount of code that we need to run or we need to write up. So look into those tools. It should be worth spending some time working with them. Keep in mind, no code or low code. And also, I want to bring this to your attention. Power Automate and Azure Logic Apps, they are very versatile, very flexible, very competent. We can use them to run SQL code. We can also use them to work with data stored in the Cosmos DB. For example, you can use them to update the data, delete data. In other words, to do ongoing data refresh. And we can start with Power Automate and then upgrade to Azure Logic Apps on as needed basis. So you can go to this link to learn more about Azure Logic Apps and then how to get started with it. Very good tools, relatively new. They are being used more and more in the industry.